Hello everyone, it's Nikki, I'm back. Thank you so much for all your comments, your messages with the Is It Rape video. The response has been absolutely phenomenal, so keep them coming. I love you all. So today we're going to touch on another aspect to my testimony, and I hope you're blessed, I hope you're encouraged, I hope you're able to self-reflect. And remember, this is real, raw reflection, so if you're not up for that, I would switch off now, turn to another channel. And today's topic is even more so real than ever before. So I really want you to relax and be ready to be blown away. As I said, this is a very sensitive subject. It may put a few people's noses out of joint. We may have some complaints, but God has led me to lead this message. Right, let's get into this. So this video is called, Will I Ever Stop Masturbating? We're going to be looking at today the addictive spirit. So when we think about the word addiction, what do we really mean by the word addiction? Now, addiction is when you crave something, there's a need to do that thing, there's a fixation, it's compulsive, it's a weakness, it's a habit, you have to do it, you're almost dependent on that thing. Go back to the Was It Rape video. Right at the end, I'm 15, I've got my new boyfriend, and we're having sex. So at this point, I'm no longer going to church because I'm actually so fixated with my boyfriend and work and money and all the rest of it, I've slowly dropped off going to church. And sometimes when you know you're not doing good, you can't really face going into church either. So there I am, I'm not going to church really, I'm having sex, but I'm not enjoying sex. And then my boyfriend advises me, why don't you try, getting to know your body at home. Now, most people get perfume, flowers for their first present, but my first present was a vibrator, a sex toy. And the advice was to go home, get used to your body, that you're able to start enjoying sex more. So I took the vibrator, and that was the beginning of, I suppose, my addiction. Remember, my Was It Rape video says, always trace back to that one thing, that pinnacle moment, that catalyst of why you got there today. So what I'm about to say to everybody out there is, you don't have to have a weak spirit to get that first little hook. You could just be caught off guard. So what I want to advise you to do is be wary of that addictive spirit slipping into everyday life. This could be someone suggesting to you. You might say, oh, I've got no money today. And someone says, boy, when I went down, every time I go down to that bingo, I always win. Come there with me now one time. Next minute, you're living in the bingo. All your money's being done in the bingo and you can't get out. Or someone says, oh, I'm stressed. And you say, yeah, me too. You know what I do to relieve my stress? I bun this spliff. Hey, go smoke this. Next minute, you just took one pull. 10 years later, you're hooked. You're addicted. Same with, someone could say, here's some cocaine, or, going to the betting shop, slot machines. Next minute, you're putting all your money in the slot machines. Whatever it is, that addictive spirit is always there to feed through our friends, family members. Could be anyone just making that suggestion. So be wary, be alert for that addictive spirit trying to slip in neatly into your normal everyday life. Especially when there's a need for something, that's when it comes in. So that's where my journey started. So here I am with this vibrator, starting to learn how to get used to my body so that I can start to enjoy sex more. Before you know it, I am using this thing on a regular basis. I am enjoying using this thing. I am using it. We're using it together. I start recommending to friends. I start buying some for friends. And that's where the addiction is almost inherited, because I've then passed it on to some of my friends. But this is an official apology actually to some of my friends that I've actually bought vibrators, stimulators for, and encouraged them to use it, because I'm now going to contradict what I said to them when I gave it to them as a present. So can we see how that devilish spirit, that addictive spirit is actually, it's moving. If we're not aware of it, it can come through. You then get to a point where you feel guilty because you're doing this thing, you know it's not right by God, you feel like you can't stop, you feel like you need it because you're addicted, you're craving, it's a need, you want it, you start planning in your mind when you're going to do it next. You've got all the necessary equipments that you need in order to fulfill that fantasy. And this is another thing. When you're doing it, what are you actually thinking about? Let's pause there, because I've had so many messages from people saying, is masturbation actually wrong? Is it actually cheating? What is it? Blah, 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 blah. Let's get into the biblical terms of what God says about masturbation. Now flee from youthful lusts and pursue righteousness. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God? And your body is not your own. But I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not carry the desire of the flesh. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eye. If you are living according to the flesh, you must die. But if by the Spirit you are putting to death the deeds of the body, you will live. Now each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then that desire, when it is conceived, gives birth to sin. And sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death. Flee from sexual immorality. Every sin a person commits is outside the body, but the sexual immorality is against his own body. A few scriptures there supporting the fact that masturbation is off the cards, talking about our body being a temple. Also idols, we don't support ideology, we spoke about from my last video, and the fact that when we are doing certain acts, we actually are going against God's will, because our body does not belong to us, it belongs to God. And so therefore we've got the scriptures to back it up. God also gives us scriptures to encourage us, to let us know that he will not give us any sort of problem that we can't overcome. And he confirms that in 1 Corinthians 10:13, where he says, no temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability. But with the temptation, he will always provide the way of escape that you may be able to endure it. So that tells me that there's always a way out. You will never be trapped in this addiction unless you want to. There's always a way out. You can seek help. God will always give you a solution on how to get out this addiction. Right, before I go into the next few definitions, I'd just like to confirm I am not a doctor. I'm just telling you from my point of view. So if you feel like you have any of the two conditions I'm about to describe next, I do advise you to see your general practitioner, your doctor, or your gynecologist. You've got the nymphomania, which is where you just constantly want sex. You'll get it anyhow, anywhere, at home, at work, on the road, in a car. You do it in the toilet in McDonald's if you can. It's just that constant urge to have sex and release. Then you have what's called the persistent genital arousal disorder. Now that is when you constantly feel that feeling. You're always feeling warm and horny, and despite releasing a few different times, you still have that arousal. I almost told myself, I did tell myself that I must have this disorder because I can't stop. I have tried. I cannot stop. I don't want to do it, but I just can't stop. I'm hooked. Now I even went as far as throwing all the toys out. So I threw all the toys out. I had a big collection, as I said, and I threw them out. So now we're getting into the method, how we actually resolve this thing. So I threw them out, and I still couldn't stop whatsoever. I took the liberty of having a look on the internet, and I thought to myself, what can you personally do in order to cure yourself from this? Because this is getting ridiculous. You're not sleeping properly. You're on this thing too much. It needs to stop. You're feeling guilty afterwards. What can I do? Now I had a look online, and again, as I said, I'm not a doctor. I just had a look online, and I'll give you some of the tips of what I did in order to overcome this. But here's what it said online. I looked at the addictions that we're talking about, but then I looked at addictions as a whole. And you may or may not be surprised to hear this, but actually, majority of the addictions out there can actually be treated by something called cognitive behavior therapy, which basically means the mind. So it's counseling, it's therapy about the mind. Take this a step back then. This is saying that the addiction is not actually the body. The fact that it's happening to the body is the after effect. The root cause of the addiction is the mind. So what about the mind? When do you actually do this thing? Is it when you're stressed? Is it at night when you can't sleep so you feel like the release will help you to sleep? What is stopping you from sleeping? Why are you having insomnia? Is it a confidence thing? Do you feel like you need to do it in order to feel a certain type of way about yourself? What is the reason, the root cause behind why these feelings are coming out? What is it? Is it loneliness? Because I guarantee you, when you think about all the things and why and when you're doing this thing, it all comes back to the mind. So we've established that it's not of the body, it's of the mind. Now we can easily look at the scriptures that back up, healing when it comes to the mind. Lean on me, God will give you peace. Lean not onto your own understanding. So the first thing that I had to do was understand, what is it about my mind that is not allowing me to stop doing this thing? And I figured out that I was unhappy. And because I was unhappy, I couldn't sleep. And because I couldn't sleep, I was having this insomnia, and the only thing that could get me to sleep was to masturbate at night. So to me, that means I had to gain happiness in order to stop masturbating. That's one top tip from me. That might sound a bit deep, but when you have a think about it, it might make sense to you. Second thing, you might wonder, why am I wearing a polo neck in the house? You probably see me sweating even. These are top tips that I do in order to not feel a certain type of way. If you know that when you're in bed, you brush and certain things affect, make sure you do what you need to do in order not to get those effects. Third thing that I would say, when it comes to, the time when you do this thing, if it's at night time and you only have to turn the TV on and you've got adverts, that are quite sexual. Turn the TV off. Don't watch the TV just before bed if that's something that triggers it off, because we have to be clever about this thing. We have to make sure that we're not doing anything that's going to, trigger off that spirit within us. So again, it's using those techniques. Another thing that I found helpful is a cold shower or even ice. And again, I'm not a doctor, so please don't quote me on this. This is just what worked for me. If you feel aroused or if you feel like, you're a bit warm down there, before going into your bed, get some ice or have a cold shower. That generally cools it down. So there are top tips from me. The last tip that I would say is, if you are using any form of toys or any kind of lubrication or anything that you use, and I'm not going to say your hands because the Bible says you cut your hand off, but that's another story. But if you're using anything, throw them out. Like I did say earlier, I threw out all my toys. Get rid of them. Anything, anything at all that could possibly encourage you to continue doing this thing, get rid of it. My top tips on how to avoid and how to stop masturbating. Now, if I can stop, I guarantee you can. And I'd really like you to try starting from now. Now, this won't be easy, and I'll tell you why this won't be easy, and I'll tell you what happened to me. But any time you make a decision in your life to stop doing something, especially something that's an addiction that you've been doing for years, the devil always has a way of trying to tempt you, always has a way of trying to lure you back in. The other day, I was actually doing a clear out, and as I said, I've been clean from my addiction for quite a while now, and I was having a clear out, January, you want to get rid of everything, throw out the old, out with the old, in with the new, all that kind of stuff, get rid of all your junk. And lo and behold, I found this. Bear with me. I was having a clear out, and I found these. What are these? These are some of the toys that I hidden from myself, and I didn't realise, and I didn't throw them out. So today I'm going to make a public declaration, and I'll show you exactly what we're about to do. So obviously, and this, funny enough, is that vibrator that my first boyfriend at 15 bought me. How relevant is that for this video today? That I threw out all those toys And those are the ones, especially that big one. That one is the one that he bought me at 15. Now, why is this relevant? This is relevant because I'm here to tell you anything that is worth doing is not easy. And the devil will continue to tempt you. Whatever your addiction is, it will not be easy to crack unless you really focus and put it in God's hands. Something will pop up, something will appear, something will come, and it will make you feel like you want to fall back into that trap, or it might make you think about that thing again. And I felt like, how timely was it that I found those? How timely was it that, I'm clearing out and I see them? Why didn't I throw it away straight away? Why have I still kept them? Is there a demonic spirit trying to tell me that it's time to use them again? And that is not going to happen. I rebuke that today. So I just want to encourage someone out there that when you make the decision to stop that addiction, and we all know people in our families that have addiction, we all have people around us that are addicted, we need to encourage each other. We need to encourage each other to crack this addiction, because it keeps coming, it keeps knocking at that door, it keeps coming. You can be clean for a little while and it keeps coming. So we need to support one another, we need to encourage one another. If you feel comfortable to share your addiction with one other person and hold them accountable to help you, do that, because there's going to be times like you're clearing up and that addiction, bang, right in your face. I was there, I was like, what? I thought I threw you out months ago. So there will be times when that addiction comes back to haunt you, and you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared. Well, how are you going to get rid of this thing? What are you going to do? And what better way to do this than on YouTube, in front of all you guys that I know are supporting me, that I know are encouraging me. And what I'd like to do today is I'm going to show you exactly where those toys should be. Where those demonic spirits should be. They shouldn't be in my house, they shouldn't be here, they shouldn't be near me. But just to make it absolutely clear, so there's no confusion, we're about to do something with those toys in a moment. You may have been wondering, why is she filming from the bathroom today? Well, that's because I needed them from my toilet. We're actually going to dispose of these demonic spirits in the toilet. And what I want everyone to do today is, if you've got any form of addictions that you really want to get rid of, I'd like you to email me at nikkiknowsnow@gmail.com. Facebook me, private message me on Instagram, whatever you want to do. Today is the day that we relieve ourselves from all these addictions. It's time to put those addictions to bed. No, we don't want to put my addiction to bed. It's time we get rid of these addictions. They deserve to be in the toilet. They are crap. We are getting rid of those addictions today. Right, the first one we're going to get rid of is this one. This looks like a lipstick, mascara. I lied. This is actually a lipstick stimulator, lipstick vibrator. Very, very, discreet. You see how the devil can work? It can help you to hide your addiction. So this could just slip in your handbag and no one would ever know you have it. Listen up. One down. This one, rose gold. We're getting quite up to date. It's quite modern, this one. 10 different settings. Who needs this? And then we have this one. This is the soul tie. This is the one that got the addiction going back when I was 15. Rebuked in the name of Jesus. The addiction is no longer. Get out, Satan. Not in my house. There you have it, people. Now, this is a symbolic moment because I've now got to take the vibrators out the toilet and throw them in the bin. But it's all worth it. It's worth the cause. It's worth the cause because I'm showing you that these are gone. These are goners. They no longer have a place in my house. They no longer have a room in my home. They no longer reside here. Out they go. So that was quite liberating. As I wrap up my video, I thank you for watching. I thank you for being patient with me. I do want this to be interactive. So what are your addictions? You know, I will be completely protective of your identities. I want to know, what are your addictions? Tell me you're out there. Email me, DM me. Tell me what your addictions are. Has this video helped? What are you going to do? Send me photos of you binning your addiction. Send me photos of you putting your addiction in the toilet. I want to know that me doing this today has been worth it. Let me know your story. Thank you for watching. Remember, I didn't know then, but Nikki definitely knows now. Please keep watching. You'll see the rest of my testimony coming soon. I love you all. I thank you for watching. Subscribe, press that little bell. It's free. I've had a lot of people asking me, do you have to pay to subscribe? No, you don't. You subscribe for free. So please subscribe. Leave your comments, leave your messages, questions, and I will see you all soon. Peace.